Welcome to the Agent is In, the Thursday, April 24th episode. My name is Craig Comstock. I'll be filling in for Nick Anderson today. Cody, do you happen to know what number episode we're at? It's like 40, 50 something?
Think we are at 48, episode 48 here.
48. Okay, cool. Great. So I had some technical difficulties today. As Ule, my my patient coworker, will tell you, I don't use the standard operating systems and stuff a lot, and even hardware. So has some audio issues and various things. Today, I'm going to talk about Android application management and inventory. So I am an enthusiast for hacking phones, essentially, and I have this Fairphone 4. It's a -1 from the current version. They have a Fairphone 5, but this is the one that I can buy in the US from a company, and it comes with EOS installed, which is a de-Googled version of Android. So it's Lineage OS with even less Google. So since I work on CFEngine and I like CFEngine, I like to use CFEngine to do all the things. So when I installed it, I wanted to use it to install apps. It's not something we have built in at all, so I worked on it. Um, First step was building. So you can install an app called Termux, which is a kind of um, Unix, Linux kind of environment. It's got a package manager that uses deb files like Debian and apt to do things, and you get a console, which I've got right here. Sorry, I'm kind of zooming up the text size here a little bit so you can see. Anyway, so yeah, and I can do apt update and see what things are and all that kind of stuff. So that allows me to do a lot of work just on my device, and that's real nice. But I also need to install apps sometimes, and there's not really anything in Termux necessarily to install apps. So I worked on something here, and let's see if I can share my screen. Did I share my screen already?
No, not yet.
Okay, share my screen, share, boom. Okay, so now, and it looks like I lost my connection. So in my tradition of doing things the hard way, I have to, wait, where am I? Okay, I'm there. I have to SSH into my work laptop and then SSH from there into my phone. Okay, so you can see this. Agents in using CFEngine for Android application and inventory management. Okay, this is a presentation brought to you by the editor, Ed. Okay, so yeah, problem is application app management and inventory. Um, so what you can do right now is, use the Play Store. There's F-Droid, which is an open source app store. On EOS, there's a thing called App Lounge, which uses F-Droid and some other things to install apps. You can also add a Google account to it if you want to. They suggest using a burner account, so I did that. So it's a de-Googled store, essentially. I can see details about apps in the settings, like versions and things like that, or in the App Store. Um, so I can install like an APK package somewhere if I want to. So like let's see, PD Droid Party is a thing I like to play with. It's a music thing. I can go there and I can get it on Google Play, but I can also download the APK directly, and then I can install it. Like from a laptop, I can do ADB install when I plug it into the USB and install it that way. Okay, so I want to figure out so I'm trying to write a package module. Um, and so we have many package modules. Um, in master files, we have some modules that are package modules and vendored. So in other words, things that we provide. The one that I kind of keyed off on for me is this APK for Alpine OS because it's a shell script. And for quick things, I tend to like using shell. And so we've got like a main down here, and there's a protocol that's used. And so I'm basically going to write a one of those for Android applications. So in order to do that, I need to figure out what um, what packages are installed. So if I do ADB shell list packages, there's I think hundreds of them because the system itself has a lot of packages pre-installed. One thing I didn't talk about, we'll just skip that for now. But if you use this mysterious option -3, which who knows how anybody figured it out, um, it might even be in the documentation, I don't know. But I can run that and get just the user installed packages. So these are the things besides EOS that I've installed so far. So that can be my inventory. And then I want to figure out, what version this is. So I can do this dump sys command, and it gets me way too much information. Oh my gosh. But if you look for version, okay, there's a version code and a version name. I found that in various applications, they use either one. So I have no idea which one to use, really. But I work around that eventually. Yeah, so a specific package, Termux, the version name looks like a pretty good one. Looks like version code is kind of the same thing, but not as specific. So I'm probably use version name for the Termux app.
Just use whichever is longer. If it
Right.
has more characters, then it's more specific.
You would think, although this version code has more, well, I don't know what to say about that line because it's like space separated name value equals, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna do a package module. So one of the things that is a little tricky about doing this is it's a kind of a limited environment. Termux is. It's you could maybe root your device and then do things, or what I do is from another computer, which is a complete pain in the butt. I have to say, "Hey, Fairphone, listen to port 8888." Okay, so then that allows me to then on the device connect to that port, and then I have ADB shell access from the phone itself. So then now CFEngine can have access to ADB shell, which is required so that I can run those commands like ADB install or ADM list packages, these kinds of things. Now, we have had people before integrate CFEngine into Android builds, but it never really got published or kind of, publicized or anything like that. I think it'd be pretty cool, and I probably try it, honestly. I can certainly build EOS myself because it's just lineage. It's so Android open source plus other stuff. So I figure I'll probably give that a try sometime, putting Android or putting CFEngine inside of Android. Okay. So let's look at what I've got for this module here. Package module, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote this shell script, Android application. So the naming is significant. So if I look at my policy that I'm going to write, this is the policy that I'm going for. So a packages promise, only do it on Termux, and install this package name, which this actually, this is kind of a typo here. It should be com termux API. And for me, I wanted to try to grab these things from a release on GitHub. So I'm going to say use the org termux and the project termux API. And then in the assets for that release, I'm using a regex to find the APK. And then here, as normal for a package promise, I say the version I want. And then the package module has this name, and that name is significant. It needs to be the name of the script or the executable that's in the modules directory under packages. So Android application. And really, this is just kind of a CPM, not to be confused with the operating system that lost out to MS-DOS, but rather copy, paste, modify of the APK Alpine module. So, one of the things I had to do, so here's that mess of trying to figure out which one is which. So I just try to see if there's I just cut it up, and if there's a dot inside of that version that I get, then I use that one because that seemed to work out for all the packages I had a dot in their version, which makes sense with the semantic versioning and whatnot. So listing installed, you'll see that I do the PM list packages -3, which is only the user installed stuff. I get the name out of that, and then I just pipe out, print out the things that the module protocol expects, name, version, architecture. I actually got the architecture from the system, not hard-coded. And then the real fancy fun part is the install part. So we have this options attribute that's available where you can send in name value pairs of options, and then we can get them. I'll show the main method here. So this is some shell stuff to grab the options and put them in variables. And then I'll go back to repo install here. So I get a version, I get a name, a GitHub organization, a project, and a release regex. And then I use curl to grab the releases JSON data. I filter through it with many filters to get the browser download URL. And if I can't find that, I say, oh, bomb out. If I can, I download it and I install it. So first things first, though, let's see the inventory, right? So the way that I get inventory in there is, so I enable, so I have this additional package inventory modules for Termux Android applications. So this adds my package module into the package modules that are used to grab inventory to report back to the hub. And I will say I'm cheating a little bit here because I built an enterprise client for Termux, which isn't publicly available. So, that's a work in progress as well. So if we go over to Mission Portal, we see that Termux and Android is not really a known operating system to CFEngine yet. I have a PR to fix that. Also, the host name is a little weird. It's localhost. That's just what Android says, so that's what it is. On mine, when I log in, I make a little alternate hostname command that tells me which device it is, so that makes it easier for me. All right, so here we have my Fairphone 4 has bootstrapped and is reporting into the enterprise. So we can see here, like the model is a Qualcomm. That's kind of showing that it is indeed a phone. And we have software that's inventoried here. Like I said, Termux. So CFEngine is running inside of Termux, inside of that context. And in that context, apt and packages are installed. So this list of packages is rather long, and it includes the normal kind of stuff you'd expect to see on a Linux system, like apt, core utils, that kind of stuff. a little bit of a difficulty with software inventory right now is that we don't delineate between when you add more than one package module to inventory, we don't really have the information about which package module gave you that inventory. So I wrote a report that uses a regex to only see the packages that are actually Android applications. And the way I know this is because they have these kind of uh, backwards Java package names. So com termux, com WhatsApp. I've got the parental control for Nintendo installed, termux X11, and the Droid Party. So these are all installed, and you can see that most of them ended up with a good version. Um, PD Droid Party did something really weird. They don't have a version at all, so that's special, I guess. Um, so we can see that inventory works. That's cool. Um, so let's see the install work. Okay, so see package matches pocket, right? Okay, so this is how you install, or this is how you uninstall. So I'm going to uninstall this API application, which provides a little integration with the phone. So you can do like texting or change the brightness or turn the Wi-Fi off, that kind of thing. So I'll just run this. And now Termux API is uninstalled. You can install with the file itself. I think I have it here. So I could just do like adb install Termux API. So I'm going to install an old version, the 5.0 version, instead of 51. Okay, so I guess let's see. My other one didn't work. They uninstall? I thought I uninstalled it. Yeah. Maybe I have to go fast. Uh, there we go. Okay, so now 5.0 is installed. I'll just make sure that that's not running. Hopefully it didn't already do it. So if I do PM list packages -3, oh, I have to do adb shell PM list packages 3. So as in the Termux context, I can't run that PM command. I have to run it through the adb bridge. So that's what I did there. So adb shell dump sys com.termux.api and grep for version. Oh, can't find it because it's not installed. Okay. Oh, package. Sorry. I forgot a keyword. Package. There we go. Grab version. Okay. So we see that version 50 is installed. Now I will run the npf main bundle. This is going to be really noisy. I apologize. I'll tee it to log so we can look at it later. I currently have the verbose, -x on the shell script. So, but here you can see it's downloading the 5.1, the 51 version APK from GitHub. There's a little error in there about com termux, and I think I know why, a little bug. So now I can check the version of this and ensure it installed. We can look at the log. Oh, I didn't grab the standard error. Okay, anyway, so there you have it. That's essentially a working. So one of the things I thought of a working package manager for Android applications. So right now I only have an option to use this GitHub release because that was my main focus. That just resolves to a URL to download. So I could add a way to just specify an attribute of, I'll get over to this again, overlay, so this is main. So in other words, these options, I could add an option for just a URL. I should probably add an option for checksum, and I could also add an option for just file because the GitHub release gives me a URL. I download it to a file, and then I install it. So we can do all those things. And we saw it go. And then I've already shown you the report right here. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions that you want to put on the record?
Do you have many devices to manage? Do you have a fleet of Android devices in your home?
In some ways I do, yes. I almost tried to um, work with one of my watches that I have. I don't have like a huge fleet. I probably have a tablet and my one of my 13-year-old has Timex Family Connect Senior watch that actually works to text and voice. And I installed Termux on that, of course. And I had to because, or CFEngine rather, Termux and CFEngine, because it has a bug where it makes a bunch of big log files and then kind of stops working. So I've got a cron tab running agent every now and then to purge those files so that the phone continues to work. I mean, it's worth it to pay $20 for a kid's watch in that case. So yes, I don't have a large fleet though, but as we know, CFEngine scales nicely.
We have a raised hand.
A raised hand. Well, speak.
So, Craig, is adding the extra machinery of CFEngine on the Timex watch to run out of the cron tab better than just running an RM command out of the cron tab?
Well, for me it is because that allows me to bootstrap the watch to a policy server and not have to get to the watch to add some things to do.
Got it.
Yeah, but essentially, I agree with what you said. Correct. It
I
is.
mean, it's about fleet management in the same way that my 30,000 computers at my company.
Exactly. I have a small fleet. I'm working on it. So, yeah.
Did
Cool.
you, so in the beginning you were setting up this shell to listen on port 80, 88 or whatever. Is
Yes,
that on like a loopback interface, or is
it is.
that like for your whole network to access?
It's on the local. So if I do see, yeah, so it's on local host, yeah. I don't know if I have this. I maybe don't have that. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not going to work because I don't have privileges probably. Yeah, I don't think I can get there from anywhere else. I suppose it's possible. Yeah. Yeah, ADB is not really the best thing to have running on your device. It's it opens up security holes. Somebody can plug in a USB. On mine, like I have to have it unlocked, like with my fingerprint or something like that, with my password, the Android device, in order for a USB plug-in to allow ADB to start. So that's relatively secure. Oftentimes, it's not set up that way. So if you have ADB enabled, the debug bridge enabled, anybody can plug a USB-C or a USB cord into a computer with the phone and start doing bad stuff. So it's kind of like an unlocked bootloader, kind of same deal. If somebody grabs your device, like you could be in trouble, security wise, privacy wise.
Do you have a way to simulate and test all of this stuff in a VM or something without a physical device?
Right. It would be, I think it would be very possible. The Android Studio that you typically develop Android apps in comes with an emulator. So yeah, it should be possible. And I've used that before to work on Termux, the app and various things. So yeah, I think it's very possible.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to set up some CI, some things to, as I start making this actually more real, set up some CI to run it and test it. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Just some QEMU fun, probably.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any more hands to raise? Any more questions from the audience?
Cool.
Well, thank you, Craig.
Yeah,
Appreciate you showing that stuff.
absolutely.
I guess that wraps up episode 48 of The Agent is In.
Hmm.
Thanks for joining, everybody. We'll see everyone next time.
And we'll stop the recording, and if you have other questions, feel free to hang out.